Welcome to another episode of Xcel Outdoors. It is October 21st here in northeastern Wisconsin, and we are getting excited. The rut is almost here, you guys. We've been seeing bucks chasing does. We've had guys in our team dropping deer already this fall. It's pretty exciting, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that. You'll join me on a hunt that I was on the lease last week, which was kind of cool. And then Mike Falk and I are going to connect and talk a little bit about the food plots that we put in over the summer and kind of the fruit that we're starting to see from that now with deer really hitting those food plots when the frost hits up north. We put in 2 different plots, and we'll talk about what we like to use, what we're seeing, maybe a little bit about deer patterning this time of year, kind of pre-rut. And in the next couple of weeks, that rut is really going to kick in, you guys. So if you're a bow hunter, crossbow hunter, get out there because it's going to be getting really, really good here over the next 2 weeks. Also, I'll be doing a little bit of a segment on some gear that we like to use, really featuring our Alps hunting packs that we like. You guys, they do a great job. They've been a great help over the last year for us, and it's exciting to use some high-quality products. So enjoy this episode. Hey guys, it's October 14th, and we're out at the lease this afternoon. Hunting the acorns. The farmers have dropped the corn, and we've been seeing deer on this high ridge line. We're right on the edge of a dried up riverbed, and so we're gonna sit till dark. And like I said, we've been trying to drop a doe out here, and we just haven't had one close enough to take, or a good one to take. So stay tuned. Thanks for tuning into Xcel Outdoors. North of us, actually below a different stand we have. Hunting, of course. 7 yards, and Mama, or a bigger doe, came in last. And I know she didn't smell me, but she was a little nervous. And boy, those little bucks, they were pretty excited, snorting and stomping. It's good to see that, though, on this property. So, hey, I've got another maybe 15-20 minutes of light here. We'll see what the camera can shoot, but we're seeing deer. We're not going to shoot the little ones, so that's good for the gene pool, though. Hopefully those deer will become resident deer for us here at the lease. So, yeah, it's exciting to watch. Beautiful night, and yeah, stay tuned. Welcome back to Xcel Outdoors. We've got Mr. Mike Falk with us today. Mike, thanks for being here.
No problem.
Like I said in the intro, Mike and I both put in food plots at our hunting spots up north here in Wisconsin, and I tell you, when that frost hits and when it gets chilly, those deer pound the food plots. And so, Mike, tell us, what did you guys put in? When did you put it in? What are you seeing?
Well, we did a wide variety of stuff this year. We have 5 different food sources, if you will, to try to have the deer coming in from opening day all the way through the last day of the season. So for early season, we've got soybeans, a mixture of forage soybeans and just regular soybeans, and both of them are Roundup ready, which is key to keep the weeds and stuff from coming up. So you can just go right over everything and spray it with Roundup, and of course the soybeans still do fine. The forage beans have been phenomenal this year. We're trying a brand called Eagle Seed that has, I mean, it's almost chest high. It's incredible that you can literally, the deer disappear in the food plots. It's incredible. It's really, really cool. And of course, they'll be hitting those right off the get-go, but then later, once the beans turn brown, they're going to be hitting them again.
Right.
During that phase where they're turning and the deer are kind of getting off of them, we've got some radishes, we've got corn, Big and Beastie mix, which is made by Frigid Forage. We've had great success with that. It's amazing to see how well Frigid Forage came in this year, which is a mixture of brassica and I think turnips.
Right.
So we're trying to have a smorgasbord where we've only got 80 acres. But so far, they've come in phenomenally, and it's really worked. I mean, the deer on them like clockwork. You can't sit on any of these and not see deer in any given night, just about.
Well, and the great things with food plots and the combination of trail cameras, like Mike kind of mentioned, is you can start to pattern these deer from when those plots start coming up, and obviously you get an inventory of the deer that you have. You can use mock scrapes near your food plots to really attract those bucks and watch them grow through the season. And Mike and his team does a great job of just managing their property, and they're seeing some really neat results. Up on our 40 acres, we put in a food plot July 15th, very similar to a brassica radish mix by HB Seed Company out of Coleman, Wisconsin. And we've seen some great results there. Our property is 40 acres, so it's small, but we've got that 3-acre plot, very sandy soil, so we had to raise the pH up. And the guys at HB Seed Company really helped, knew the property well, knew the land well. And so, like Mike, we're seeing deer, and it will bring continued fruit here for us as hunters throughout the season as it gets cold. And hopefully we get some big bucks moving through our food plot here soon. And so any advice you have for guys that, oftentimes we hear, I don't have the gear, the equipment, things like that. Any advice for them on putting in plots?
Sure. I mean, for the different seeds, there's different equipment that's really key. I mean, for soybeans and corn, it's nice to have a little bit more professional grade, like farm equipment.
Yeah.
A grain drill makes all the difference in the world. As far as, the poor man's food plot, if you will, the biggest thing that we found is making sure that you kill everything ahead of time. Roundup. Hit it hard, and hit it multiple times if you have to. You want to get everything killed right down to the dirt. before you start prepping that soil
Yeah.
to accept the seed. So kill it, and then kill it again.
Right.
and then really, and then you start working up your soil. And then with all of our food plots, we put down fertilizer, usually just a 10-10-10 mix.
Yeah.
Right as we put down the seed. And I tell you what, we have some sandy soil too, but the food plots are they're like heads of romaine lettuce all over the entire thing. It's really came in really good.
Right. Well, and in Wisconsin, we're not out baiting deer. We can't do that. Big piles of corn and mineral everywhere throughout the summer. So food plot is a great alternative. And for us, we needed a truck to pull a trailer with a borrowed four-wheeler. You can rent discs. You can rent all sorts of equipment from an implement shop if you guys need to put your seeds in. And it's just a great way to see results, and it's fun to take kids out of. Like some of the footage you gave us this week, just showing kids how these food plots attract deer, and it provides a lot of excitement. And when you're managing property, it's just healthy for the deer, healthy for turkeys and other wildlife that's around in the area. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and just the satisfaction of not that any of us are really farmers, but
Right.
To get things to come up and to for the deer to be drawn to that, and for that being part of the reason that you have a successful hunt, not necessarily just killing something, but for seeing deer. I take my daughter Genevieve with me, and it's cool to take her out and sit on these food plots, because we sit on them every time I take her, because then she can see deer.
Exactly.
She can have them close and really get to experience, what hooked us on hunting and way back in the day.
Absolutely. And one thing we kind of mentioned earlier, our food plots aren't 20 acres big. They're 3 acres here, a half an acre there, and it's just pinch points and areas for deer to come in, whether they're on their way to bedding or on their way to another food source, to really take advantage of that. And so it keeps resident deer on our properties, and especially with winters that we have in Wisconsin, it's just good to have that extra food source just for the health of the deer population. So thanks, Mike, for hanging out with us today, man, and good luck the rest of the year.
Yeah, you too. It's getting to be that time.
Oh, it is.
That frost is hitting those brassicas, making them sweeter, and those deer are really going to be keying into them soon.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Welcome back. Just going to do a quick gear review for you today. A few products that I like to use. One, and this is probably one of the more vital products, is just a good scent elimination spray. There's a lot of companies that come out with these every year. I really like the Trinity Blast by Scent Blocker. A lot of their clothes we use on Xcel Outdoors, and I haven't had any issues with it. It's awesome. I spray my stands down, my ladders, my harnesses, my clothes, my boots, my bow, anything that I go in and out of the woods with, I'm going to use this Trinity Blast. I can't be more serious about this next piece of gear that I use. You need a safety harness. This is a Hunter Safety company harness that I've used for a couple of years now. I do not go up or down a stand without this on. Okay, and you've heard it before that most accidents occur when you're going up or down a stand, and that's true. This with a combination lifeline with a Prusik knot. As you move up, you move the knot up. As you come down, you move the knot down. You're locked in all the time. You don't have to take your carabiner off and put it somewhere else. You're locked in all the time. You don't have to worry about it. I cannot stress enough the importance of this. I don't care how many times you've been up and down a deer stand. It only takes one fall, one icy ladder, something like that, and your hunting career could be done. So, get a harness. Hunter Safety Systems is great. Muddy Outdoors makes great harnesses. Tree Spider by Scent Blocker, phenomenal. A lot of times when you buy stands, it comes with a stitched harness. Throw that in the garbage. Go get yourself a legitimate harness with buckles and solid hardware. It's very, very important. Next, I've got a great pack by Xcel Outdoors. This is their Big Bear pack. It is a waist pack, but the really neat thing about this, you guys, and I bring my camera gear out with this and another bag that they make, which we'll feature next time. This bag actually transitions into a full day pack. Okay, so I don't need this too often here in the Midwest, but when I go to Colorado next month, I'm going to bring this. And it converts, I think, to over 1,600 cubic inches of extra space. And it comes with your shoulder straps. You can actually buy accessories that clip onto the front, a binoculars holder. For turkey hunting, you can buy a game and collar holder. And then down in here, you've got a ton of room for gear. I put my camera in here actually with all the mics and everything on it when I'm heading out to the field. A very large front pocket that I use for my rattle bags, grunt calls, extra flashlights, things like that. It's got a side rangefinder pocket, and then I use this for scent control, sprays or Tink 69, things like that. Here as the rut picks up in Wisconsin. Pretty cool. A new product that I just became aware of this year is actually a local product. It's called Fine Blood. I saw these guys. They were at our Sportsman's Banquet as a vendor this year. They're just getting into the hunting market, and this is a basically spray to fine blood combination here. And what you do, it comes with a little pouch that you throw in here. It activates the liquid. So say you shoot a deer and you're not finding a lot of blood. You spray this in an area where you think the deer was or traveled to, and anything that is of iron substance will glow bright, bright blue. Okay, it's pretty cool when you watch the promo video on their website. And so I'm going to have this with me all season, and I'm going to show you this season how this thing works. And I'm interested to test it out myself. Obviously, a lot of new hunting products come out every year, but this is something that really caught my eye just because in early season when it's raining a lot, you shoot a deer late in the evening, and you know you made a good shot, and you're not ready to pull out yet. You're seeing blood, but you know the rain's coming. You need something that even when it's in a downpour rain, that you can find your deer. Well, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Xcel Outdoors. We really, truly appreciate it. And we're trying our best to give you guys some quality footage, good information about some hunting and fishing that we have here in northeastern Wisconsin. Next month, Ryan Borowitz, myself, a couple of my guide buddies in Colorado will be doing some filming on some of the tailwaters out west, the Blue, the South Platte, maybe even the Frying Pan, and we'll get some great trout action for you guys. They've got 6 to 8 inches of snow already up in Summit County. And so it could be pretty fun and pretty interesting dealing with the weather up there right now. But the fishing actually should be pretty good, so we can kind of look forward to that. One thing I want to touch on from a spiritual perspective, I know for me this time of year, hunting and the rut coming and the trips that I get to do, oftentimes I really need to focus and check myself on, am I getting quality time with my family, with my wife, with my kids? And you guys as sportsmen, men and ladies, you guys are passionate about what you do. You love to hunt, you love to fish, and that's great, and it's God's design for us to enjoy that. But I want to encourage you to sometimes check yourself and ask yourself, okay, have I been gone too much? Am I hunting too much? Am I fishing too much? I know I asked that of my wife, and my wife definitely is honest with me when I am. And so there's nothing more important than developing the relationships that you have with your family. And as men specifically, it's our design to lead and to help grow and help nurture our families. And so as you're hunting and getting excited for whatever season of hunting that you partake in, just question yourself and make sure your priorities are in line. Remember, God loves you and has a plan for you.